Day, subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am Jeremy. This is the Financial Education Channel, and welcome to 4 stocks I'm buying October 2017 edition. It's my favorite day of the month when I do this video, and guess what? It's my favorite month. The weather's starting to change. Halloween's right around the corner, and some college football teams are about to get knocked off, guys. So we're going to talk about my 4 stocks here today. We're going to talk about how they've performed since I've added them to the list, if we have any new additions on the list, if any stocks got kicked out, if we had a rearrangement of order, all that good stuff, guys. So we're going to get into all that. I know these videos get a ton of advanced investors on who want to know what stocks I'm buying, but also gets a ton of beginners in the stock market. If you're a beginner in the stock market, make sure when you leave today, you check out my 11-part stock market investing mastery course. That should help you guys out phenomenally. So let's go ahead and check this out here, guys. So GoPro, this is the bad one of the bunch. This one is down about 12% since I added this one to the list back in, it was March of 2016. It's still down about 12%, but it's coming back. That's the good news. We're moving in the right direction. Who knows? Maybe if we get lucky enough next month, we might be break even. Wynn Resorts, complete opposite. I had this one back in February 2016. This one's up over 130%. An absolute animal there with Wynn Resorts. Cirrus Logic, this one just got added this past month, and unfortunately it had a bad month, so we're down over 6% on that one. And then L Brands, which just got added this past month. That one had a really good month for the first month we've been in it. It's up over 11%, guys. So those are the stocks we've had. Now, do we have any changes? We're gonna have to get into that. So staying here at number 1 is still GoPro. GoPro. People still don't understand why I'm so excited about this one, and I just don't understand why they're not excited about it. So let's look at just over the past 8 or 9 months, some of the stuff that's come out, right? So they reported numbers here about 8-9 months ago, a 24% revenue growth, okay? Then they come out, they say GoPro, this is back in March of 2017, so I don't know, what's that, 7-8 months ago? GoPro affirms Q1 2017 at revenue at the high end of the guidance range. Full year non-GAAP profitable in 2017. Then they come out and they announce those earnings, revenue up over 19% year over year. Then the next quarter's revenue comes out up over 34% revenue growth. So it's a revenue growth beast right now. Then they come out here recently, September 7, 2017. GoPro expects third quarter 2017 revenue and gross margin will be at the high end of guidance, okay? So this stock is in growth mode right now. It's growth, growth, growth. And it's not just growth, but it's getting back to profitability in 2018. That excites me majorly because I'm all about profitability in the end. I'm a growth investor, but I'm also a value growth investor. So I love companies that are profitable and growing. So there's some things I'm excited about here other than just a revenue growth, but the new stuff they're entering into. So the drones, they just got their drone relaunched here in about January, February time. So about 8-9 months ago. And then they just launched a virtual reality camera. Why does all this matter? Well, you want to be in the drone space. GoPro's already established itself as a number 2 player in drones behind DJI. Karma 2 should be coming out sometime in 2018, which I'm expecting huge improvements in hopefully a smaller size, hopefully a lot more capabilities. They just offered some new software with the Karma drone where you can tilt the camera up now, and as well as a feature, that follow me feature and things like that. So I'm looking for Karma 2 to be much more advanced and that to be a real player in the space. But drones is definitely a space you want to be in right now because it's hot. And then virtual reality cameras are the cameras of the future, okay? These products are in their infancy right now, but over the course of the next 3 to 5 years, there's going to be millions, if not tens of millions of units sold per year. So it's in its infancy right now, but this is a huge growing market, and GoPro has a phenomenal chance to be the number 1 player in virtual reality cameras, which is huge, guys. And not to mention, like I talked about earlier, getting back to profitability in 2018 on a GAAP basis is going to be huge. You know, it's one thing to be non-GAAP profitable like they're going to be in 2017, but to be GAAP profitable in 2018, that's going to be huge, guys, because that will attract a lot more value investors in it at that point, and a lot more mutual funds, a lot of the big dog money managers who won't ever touch a stock that is unprofitable, but all of a sudden they become profitable and they still show great growth this coming year. All of a sudden people are like, oh wow, let's start sticking some money in that. I'm talking big money people, not like small money people like myself, okay? So that's why I'm so excited about that one, self-explanatory. Wynn Resorts, why am I so excited about this one? Well, This past year, or this year they're in right now, they're going to have somewhere around 35% revenue growth. Absolute revenue beast this past year. Next year, analysts only have this one growing around 5%. I think that's a low ball number, honestly. I think that's a low ball number. I think they'll grow way more than 5% unless the whole Macau market just like goes into shambles or something overnight and we have a huge recession or something. That's possible, but unless that scenario plays out, they should have way more than 5% revenue growth next year. Like, I don't see any way they don't have more than 5% revenue growth next year. Wynn Resorts, it's the creme de la creme as far as properties go. Here in Las Vegas, they got the best properties. In Macau, they got the best properties. If you've ever stayed at a Wynn, you've been around Wynn, they're just phenomenal properties. And then they got Wynn Boston Harbor coming out in about somewhere around 15 to 18 months from now. Wynn Boston Harbor should be opening. And then you check out the Macau market here. Macau Casino gross gaming revenue up 20% in August. Guess what happened in August? A flippin' typhoon happened in August. A typhoon happened in August in Macau, and they still grew numbers 20%. If that doesn't show strength in Macau, like, I don't know what will. When you have a typhoon come through in Macau that messes up a ton of stuff, it almost, destroys basically a week of visitors, and you still get 20% gross gaming revenue, like, that's just ridiculous, guys. That market is hot right now, and when Macau gets hot, Macau gets insanely hot. So definitely a market you want to be playing in, and that's another reason why, unless Macau just falls into shambles all of a sudden overnight, I don't see a way how Wynn's not going to grow at least 10, 15, or 20% next year as far as revenues go and profits, in my opinion. So that is why I am so excited about Wynn and why Wynn has stayed at the number 2 spot. Number 3 spot is still Cirrus Logic. So this one is a smartphone play. They make the audio codecs and the semiconductors that go inside smartphones, a lot of different mobile devices, iPads, things like that. They get the majority of their revenue from Apple. So this one I'm so excited because this has been a revenue beast. I mean, if you look at how the revenue's grown over the past year and a half here in this chart, guys, it is phenomenal. It is unbelievable growth. Now, if you see Q2 fiscal 2018, they've only got it for 410 million, which would be, if they actually did that number, that would be down 30 million. So 2 things here. I think they lowballed that number. 1, or actually 3 things here. 1, I think they lowballed the number. 2, iPhone 10 is not coming out till November. So they're probably assuming Apple probably won't put in a lot of the orders for the chips for that one until probably October, which would already be into the next quarter at that point. And the third thing is when you're in the semiconductor industry, you could have a ton of big orders come toward the very end of one quarter or the very beginning of next quarter. It's not like a business like running a grocery store or working or running Amazon or something where you're going to get pretty consistent order patterns, other than the holiday season, obviously. With semiconductors, you could have one customer order $30 million, $50 million worth of chips that just happens to fall on, let's say, October 3rd instead of September 30th or something like that. And so all that revenue gets counted in the next quarter. So I think that's kind of the play there. But revenue growth is not going to be huge in Cirrus Logic. So the massive growth they've had over the past few years, that's not going to happen for the next 12 to 24 months. I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. They will start growing huge again in about 12 to 24 months, depending on when they get a new chip into the iPhones and some of the other smartphones, which will basically let you unlock your phone with your voice, but use voice biometrics that are stored in your phone, so you can actually, it will read your emails and things like that, and you don't have to use your passcode. So, and you look at here, Cruise is at a forward PE of 11. Very low valuation company, very low valuation. And then you look at this balance sheet, holy smokes. So one, the company's super profitable, so they're going to make, at least a couple $100 million next year, right? That will add to this. But look at this, $163 million in cash, $11 million in marketable securities, $134 million in long-term marketable securities, and no debt on that balance sheet. That is the balance sheet I love, guys. So you got a company that is in slow growth mode. They should grow still revenues over the next year or two, profits as well, but they're not going to experience tons of growth. But I'd rather hold this stock and be in it now, ready for the huge growth coming in the future, and hold it at an 11 PE with a phenomenal balance sheet, guys. So that's kind of my play on Cirrus Logic right now, and we'll see if I add any more shares of that one L Brands, so they own some unbelievable brands here. They own the Victoria's Secret brand, they own Bath and Body Works brand, and they own the Pink brand. They own other brands other than that, but those are the three big ones that you guys probably know. You probably walked around your mall before. I mean, you probably shopped at those stores, or your wives or girlfriends or mothers or whatever have shopped at those stores, believe me. Something here exciting I saw was they're going to do the Victoria's Secret fashion show, which is kind of a big deal. This gets ridiculous amounts of people to be interested in this, right? They're going to do it in Shanghai, China for the first time, which is going to be in November 28th. I think that's exciting because that shows L Brands really trying to expand internationally, and China is just going to be a huge market for this company over time. It's already starting to get there, but it's going to be much bigger, and especially if they could put focus on that and they do some events like that in China, like the Victoria's Secret fashion show. I think that's big time, guys. That's a huge potential growth vector for L Brands. Then you look at this company. It's trading at a 12 PE. You're giving me those brands at a 12 PE? Come on, man. That's like stealing money. And then you look at the dividend yield, over a 5.5% dividend yield. Where can you find dividend yields like that are super safe, that are in companies that are hugely profitable, have amazing brands, have good balance sheets? Like, you can't find dividends like that in many companies that are in this type of space, guys. So that is why I'm owning this one. I just think it's a free money stock, in my opinion. Whether I hold it super long term or something, that's still to be determined. So those are 4 stocks. They all stayed the same. They all stayed in the same order. Sorry for no drama this month. There just wasn't any drama. There wasn't any changes or anything like that. But last month was an extraordinary month because 2 stocks had got kicked off and then 2 new ones added last month. So last month was just crazy. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you for watching and have a great day.